All right. Today is 29th of, 30th of August. Can you imagine? 2022 is gone. Just been talking to a friend here and we kind of cross-checked on each other. September, October, November, pretty much autumn, winter. See what I mean? Anyway, what do I say? The story from MAHA, from Maharishi School of Management, with love, Mapenzi Yenyewe. You see, writing this story is more to me autobiographical, you know what I mean? See, when you do something and more you feel like it's kind of ringing a bell, you know. 1994 was a very, it's a year that shaped my direction. Remember, I was leaving Uganda for the first time, going to a new country for the first time. You know, everything was new. So, and my mom making that decision for me to go to Kenya. I don't think she took it lightly. She just wanted me to start a new beginning. I was young. But you cannot offload 20 years. 20 years. Primary, secondary. And remember, after senior 6, that's the time when many students are leaving home for the first time. And going to Kenya was more like going abroad. So what am I talking about? I arrived in Kenya on a Kamba bus. A Kamba was more like taking a plane today, whatever people board planes today, to go to Kenya. I wrote the story, my maiden voyage to Kenya. I remember everything. I never slept. All the way from Kampala, the Winton Road, to Busia. We enter Kenya, Kisumu, Nakuru. We arrived in Kenya about 3 a.m. in the morning. Very bright city. You would pretty much see yourself in a new world. It was very misty, very cold. And we checked into the Ambassador Hotel, but we were going to meet up at the collection point, which was at Kenyatta Avenue. I remember, Wimpy Restaurant. So from the hotel at about 11 o'clock, they sent for a van to collect me. And from the van, they drove us to Sharit Center. I don't know if those places are still there, I don't know. So from Sharit Center, we did all the shopping I needed because I had to have beddings, they made sure that I bring warm clothes. I was like, where the hell am I going at? So I remember there was a gentleman called Mwangi. Mwangi came along to, I think it was like the admin or whatever. And we did all the shopping in Sharit Center. There was a shop in there called Uchumi. Is it Uchumi? Yeah, Uchumi supermarket. Very big place. Yeah, Uchumi. In Sharit Center, Westlands. So from there we drove all the way to LIMURU via Banana. So because this story is on location, but it has a lot of things that it kind of, it picks up momentum from what really is happening. And I can't fault myself here because, like I'm telling you, it's very autobiographic. Because a lot of people didn't know the experience of going to a new country. And if you followed my stories previously, I was more of a city-born. I was more now going to a place where like everything is contained. Honestly, that place was very, very contained. So it was fenced. There was a gate. You had to pass through security. You couldn't leave. If you came up, they locked you out. You know. But I didn't mind that. But so when we arrived that afternoon, it was around 1 o'clock. I remember we arrived at Maharishi School of Management. The students were in the dining having lunch. So I had to be taken to the main building, and then they received me. Is it Helena? The girl was called Helena, blah, blah, blah. And they told me to come down in the main dining to have lunch with my mom. And she was very impressed. A lot of nice girls, the alumni, but now Uganda, there were a lot of Ugandan girls, Kenyans and everything. That's where the trouble begins. After, then my mom gives me a pep talk, telling me like, you've come to study, you should focus on your education. She was always very protective, very, very protective of me, especially when it came to girls. She always knew I was always very friendly, and more or less I could be diverted. I hadn't gone to Makerere University, you see, because of the exams. So, and I'm now going to a very, very expensive school. We were paying tuition in dollars. I remember it was a lot of money. But that didn't bother her because I think she wanted the best for me, and that was it. So where does the story come in? The story now comes in when I'm settling in. So the story from MAHA. Now I'm in MAHA, from MAHA with love, Mapenzi Yenyewe. There are two characters in the beginning. It is me and a pretty girl I meet. She stays in LIMURU, and that's how everything takes on, and the story begins. So in the process of settling in and beginning my life as a student, an international student, that's how they used to call us. So all this drama and things like that begin to unfold. So I've written chapter 1 to chapter 15. It's a lot of content I'm working with, and breaking it down. Now I really need to contextualize a lot of things. Chapter 1, preamble, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those I can put them all together. Then we go into the real story. Because while in LIMURU now, I want to bring you the full picture of LIMURU, the full picture of Tigoni, and what it meant to be a student. Remember now, there's a bit of a conflict now. And in the end, that catches up with the character, with me. Because I wasn't now focused on my studies. I was more focused on love. You see, the love for the girlfriend I had, and finding out that the friend I had met was her friend, and it's a collusion course. So where does this lead the whole, to the point that now the principal of the school, because academic disciplinary would call for someone, if you're going to miss your exams, if you're going to miss your coursework, if you're going to delay, so they would be calling you for disciplinary. and a lot of explaining. Well, I was, yeah. All right, guys, yeah. All right then. I was not focusing on my studies, and that was affecting a lot of other things. Love. Was I being carried away? And now the drama begins to unfold, because now you have two characters. I haven't given them names in the story, but I'm going to give them names. I was thinking in terms of, but I'll find the names. I'll find the names, because now when the story begins to take, the school where we were studying is no longer there. Maharishi School of Management, it closed. So whatever happened 35 years ago, how many? 30 years ago. Yeah, it's coming to 30 years ago. Isn't pretty relevant. But the alumni who would read this story would ask, when did these things happen? These things never happened. Like, you want to contextualize them. It's a story. And that's a story. You write a story to tell a story, but it's a love story. But in the end, a lot happens. I'm going to tell you, because at some point, it reaches a situation where I have to leave the school. Can you imagine? How do you leave a school? I mean, it amounts to being like suspended. I was not, but the thing was, I had to leave Maharishi. I had created a love triangle that I was just caught in a web. Do you know what I mean? So you who are going to read this story, the story is going to run and run and run endlessly. So we build up momentum in the school. I show you how LIMURU was, what it meant to be in that school. So we bring everything. How I learned Swahili from my girlfriend at the time, and the collusion course, how we played football, and she used to come at the football pitch to cheer me up, and not anybody even knew what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Sasa walikuwa wasema, huyu Muganda uko na rafiki wengi. They are saying I have so many friends, blah, 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 blah. Yes. So that's how the story goes. And I'll keep it simple. But when you're telling a story like that, being that I'm using the first person, do you believe what you're reading? Yes, you have to believe it, isn't it? So, I'm looking for my bottle, drink some water. So, I'm just doing these small videos to help those who want to read. Because what I'm doing, when I post a chapter, it's only there for one day, and then I remove it. Because I'm going to compile everything into a published work. So that those who want to read about Maharishi in the future will read about Maharishi School of Management. But most of us who went there, were going there with the intention of what? Studying abroad from Kenya, because that was promised during the admissions when they came to Kampala. I think it was their selling card. So you studied for 1 to 2 years, and then they did your I-20. I-20 is the student application. Those who went. But me, I had to leave. And how and why I left is all going to be in the story. Guys, do you know what I mean? So it's going to be in the story, Keep yourselves in wild anticipation. And I became a fixture in LIMURU to the point that kama watu walikuwa walikuwa wanafikiria kama mimi ni Muluya ama Mukisi, you know, because I learned Swahili very, very, very quickly, and I credit her for helping me. Because the time we used to spend together, we used to learn new words, we used to vocabularize different things, we used to build on, and I used to go jogging. So, going jogging, I meet the other one. You're going to enjoy. It's going to be a melodrama. Do you know what I mean? A melodrama is a story. If you read Merchant of Venice, there's a what they call a dovetailed plot in there, so that the story goes in. They leave you in suspense, looking for the right resolution. Was Brutus in sooth, I know not why I'm so. You know what I mean? You know, he betrays, you know, I forget, but was her friendship a betrayal? If you love somebody, especially with women, you talk about that with your friend, and then your friend shows interest in your boyfriend. Do you get what I mean? That's a triangle already. So, but unbeknown to my girlfriend, she doesn't know that, you know, there's a collusion cause, because I couldn't tell her that I've met somebody, but you're going to read the story nicely. So, that's it. That's the recap on from Maharishi with love story. The story is, it's a fictional autobiopic story. Do you know what I mean? So you have this location and then you fit in a story. But those who know will know. A lot of people, I don't want to say names. I don't want to. What I'm reading, Kegos. In Kenya, they used to call me Patrick Omode. Omode is a Kikuyu word meaning today. Omode. Aterere. Nkwega. Nkwedeta. Tuonane rosho. That's all Kikuyu. Do you know what I mean? I had picked up the language. Aterere. Nkwega. Gideri. But that is 30 years ago. And if my mom hadn't fallen sick, I wasn't going to leave Kenya. I had just immersed myself in the Kenyan culture. I tell you, walikuwa wananipenda sana. They embraced me so well and so nicely that that was it. Sorry, cheers. And that was it. So, yeah, the story is, you see, it's opening up my life. My life, I'm kind of, I thank her. Now, you know, she requested me to write this story. And I think she's following. But I am going to dedicate this story to her. Because these are things that people, you know, I mean, something can be shaped by influence. What do I mean? So, I don't know what people think of me. I don't know what people like about me. I don't know what people, you know, relate. But people talk. You know, I'm like, oh, Patrick, I follow your stories. They're nice, blah, 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 blah. We talk about you here, blah, 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 blah. Okay, all right, okay, So, there is a part of your stories that doesn't connect. You went to Maharishi School of Management. What happened? You disappeared. What happened? Give us a story about anything about Maharishi. You know, and I'm in touch with a lot of people. But because they're not in, the alumni are not in the story. I'm not putting alumni in the story. The story is out of, the boundaries of the school as it was, and the two characters are people I've met in LIMURU. You get it. But I'm not going to give the names of the people, but as the story is just like that. But I want you guys to enjoy it. It's as always. Let me see what time it is. It's already 9. So anyway, hii mapenzi siwezi. I feel this story is coming from the bottom of my heart. Walking through the forest, the LIMURU forest at night, ya Mungu. And there was a collision course, there was this, there was that. Do you know, those who went to MAHA, there was a fight. Walikuwa Wajameni walipigana kwa dining hall. Let me say that in Swahili. There was a fight in the dining hall. Follow the story. Follow the story and what was going on. You know what I mean? This is a long time. Lakini Mapenzi Yenyewe ndio story, guys. I'm out.